6-week training program review. The first strength that my client showed was confidence. Confidence was a strength because my client was getting into the activities with 100% confidence. For example, before the activities, he was confident and ready to go. This would allow my client to believe he is going to improve, and believe he is going to improve, increased his overall chances of actually improving. The impact this had on his training program as well as competition was he could go into training or competition with good confidence, will allow my client to believe he is going to perform well, as he won't have any doubts in his mind, will only have positive thoughts, and positive thoughts will help him lead to a positive performance. The next strength that my client showed was technique. Technique was a strength because my client's technique was always correct for each different activity. For example, each technique for muscular endurance was correct, and having the correct technique allowed my client to perform the activities at the highest level, and this increased his chances of overall improving. The effect this had on the training program as well as in competition. He could go into training or competition with good technique will allow my client to perform well. For example, good technique will allow my client to do each part of his game well, and this will allow overall good performance. The next strength that my client showed was enthusiasm. Enthusiasm was a strength because my client was up and ready for each different challenge and was enthusiastic to begin the activities. For example, before completing the cardiovascular training, he would warm up without being told to, so that he could begin the activities quick. The effect this would have on my client's performance during the training program as well as competition would be he could go into training or competition with good enthusiasm, will allow my client to go into every challenge feeling confident and ready to go, as good enthusiasm should increase his motivation to complete the challenges in front of him and to the highest level, and this will also allow my client to improve in training and also then perform well. Areas for improvement. The first area of improvement is my client's effort. This is an area of improvement because my client was not motivated and therefore didn't put 100% effort in. This occurred when he was feeling tired and therefore didn't want to work against the resistance. For example, when doing cardiovascular endurance, my client would often stop rather than carrying on due to feeling tired. Another example, when doing muscular endurance, my client would work for less time than planned and would give up due to feeling tired and didn't want to work against the resistance. The effect this would have on my client's training program as well as in competition. A lack of effort during training and performance will impact my client, as he won't be able to reach full potential at any stage due to not putting enough effort in, not putting enough effort and hard work in. Also, will stop my client's chances of improving, as he will be required to work hard on all weaknesses in his game in training to make sure they change from weaknesses to strengths. But without effort, this won't happen. The next area for improvement is focus and his concentration. This was an area for improvement because my client was not 100% focused during training. For example, my client was easily distracted when he heard or saw anything going on around him, and therefore he didn't complete the activities always to full potential, which stopped him from improving. The impact this would have on my client's training program as well as competition would be a lack of focus during training and performance will impact my client, as he won't be focused enough to reach full potential in performance, and opposition will find it easy to play against him. Also in training, my client won't be able to improve as he won't be 100% focused, and when trying to improve he will easily get distracted, and this will prevent him from ever improving, and this will affect his overall performance in the future. The next area for improvement is endurance. Area for improvement because my client was not able to complete any of the activities to full potential. For example, when doing cardiovascular endurance, he would often stop during the laps rather than working hard to complete all the laps against the resistance. And when doing muscular endurance, my client would often give up rather than working hard to complete the activities. This will affect the training program as well as in competition. For example, lack of endurance will affect both my client's performance and training. For example, in performance, my client won't be able to work at the same level for the whole time, as he will fatigue quick, and performance levels will decrease as a result. And also in training, my client won't be able to improve, as he will fatigue at a quicker rate when working on weaknesses, and therefore the weaknesses won't be improved upon. Also, in a performance, my client will fatigue quicker than opponents, which will mean that the opponents will be able to reach full potential for longer periods of time, and my client won't be able to stay at the same level for the same amount of time. Training recommendations would be, for cardiovascular endurance, fartlek training. I would recommend 3 times a week, work at 70-80% of max heart rate for 25 to 30 minutes. The type would be to run for 5 minutes and then walk for 1 minute, and then repeat this for 5 times over. The type of training is running and then walking. The next fitness training component I would work on is muscular endurance. The type of training is resistance training. I would recommend 3 times a week, 80-90% of 1 rep max, 30-second reps at each stations, and 6 reps, 6 stations, and progress to 8 at the maximum. 3 circuits would make up the sets, 1 minute rest between each circuit. The type of training is circuit training.